So when it comes to spotting the setup or ensuring your operational security is at its most pristine position possible, you got to understand the play. So last night the check-in was with a female that didn't have any kind of identifier that they were with anybody else. So let's talk about it. Number one, every last one of these situations right here were turned off. Every last one of these situations were turned off. Every last area around here was pitch black. There's a lot of openings inside places where people can come in and cause different elements of exploitation, if you will, if you're not paying attention. Case in point. So I want you to understand when you're checking into Airbnbs and you're going single, alone on your journey as a Ronin, whatever you're doing, it's imperative to understand your safety, your security is your responsibility. It doesn't matter what people say and they think they're safe and they speak with articulation or they look like you. It doesn't matter. Nobody's coming to save you. So you always check the perimeter. The first thing you want to do is look at all the ingress, see where people can come in, see where people can gain access to, check the locks to ensure that you have good tight security on everything, because you don't want people to have the ability outside of the owner, which will give you an article of evidence that will identify whether or not, look at the angel, it will identify whether or not that person was the person that entered that location. So you want to do physical checks, make sure that you look at all the locks, make sure that you are looking at vantage points to see where cameras could be looking inside. The reason why that's important is because these blinds were open last night, pitch black, but these were open. All the doors were open. So what am I saying? Nobody's coming to save you. That's number one. Number two, you have to understand that your OPSEC, your ability to create your own safety grid, is based off of your wisdom and your experience. Does that make sense? All right, let's go into it. When you walk in, the first thing you want to do is ensure that you close the door. You close the door. You don't want to leave an opportunity for somebody to go in and, come in right behind you and assault you, because this is the weakest point. When you first walk in, that's the weakest point for you to have any kind of control over your scenario. So when you're walking in, the first thing you're going to do is lock the door. You're going to check the door. You're going to look around. You're not going to move without seeing. A lot of people just want to move. You want to move fast. You want to go and move. No, 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 no. Those who rush, fools rush in. So what you want to do when you first walk into any space, any location, stay in your position, gain traction and understanding of the space that you're in. Understand that your vision is going to start looking at all the egress, the ingress points, where people can come in, where people can be hiding. And then as you start to assess the location, what you're looking for is places where people could be hiding things. Listen, this is draconian, man. You're crazy, dude. I've saved a lot of people's lives with this little bit of information. Checking the bathrooms, making sure that nothing's in here. You don't want to rush into it. You want to check the corners. It's almost like you're clearing a room. Almost. But you're not doing that. You don't have your weapons drawn. You want to be ready. And what I mean by that is I'm staying ready. Even with this situation, I'm staying very ready. So as you're doing that, now we're going to set up the grid. What does the grid mean? The first thing we're going to do is set up weapon stations. What is a weapon station? Whether or not you actually want to use a real weapon, or you look at a situation and say, oh, you know what? This across somebody's head and I hold it like this. Yeah. Get familiar with the action of motion. Why? Because in the heat of battle, your body will automatically say, oh, remember we practiced this already? Bang this across their head. This is a weapon. Everything is a weapon. This piece of rock is a weapon in the eyes. And the human body, when you understand physiology, you understand how vulnerable the human body is, especially by those who don't know how to protect themselves. And just because you know martial arts doesn't mean you know how to protect yourselves from real serious bodily harm. Now, your windows, you always want to close them because you don't want people having insights about what you're doing. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying? That makes sense? You want to ensure that if there's cameras, because listen, it's going to be impossible for you to identify all the cameras. A smoke detector right in the bedroom? Yeah. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Right facing this area? That just doesn't give good vibes. It gives off, let's see. It just gives off a vibe that I don't like. So, anyway, I'm going to leave that alone because I ain't got time. Anyway, you're going to close your windows. Make sure that anything that you're doing and discussing is not in the view of other people. Do I like to turn off my TVs? You're right, because you can see TVs. Most of these TVs actually have cameras in them, and if it's facing the bed, that means that it's actually a viewpoint and a vantage point for it to collect intelligence. Looking at things like this that have little holes, areas that it shows that it was manipulated in some way by a lackluster person is not a professional. Professionals don't leave traces. So ensuring that your bed where you're going to be laying your head, can people get to your head? How easy is it to get out? You want to evaluate all of these spaces, all of these places of exploitation. Why? Because it's a world out here that people are exploiting other people. So let me break down something so you can understand why I'm making this video. Last night, one of my teammates reserved a room for what the person thought was just a female. 10 o'clock at night, this guy comes knocking on the door. And then when I raised my voice and expressed that there was a man in the room, I opened the door with my assertion, with my weapons and I'm not guns drawn, of course. I'm just, hey, is there a problem? Fear. Complete, unadulterated, oh, hello, how are you doing? What's going on? You could see it. It was like, oh, you were up to fuckery. So this whole stereo, this whole narration, this whole performance, this whole explanation is for you to understand that people will vacillate with their intentions and playing the victim as soon as they understand that they're caught and exposed. The best position you can be is always ready at all times. Does that make sense? I hope you have a great, fantastic, blessed, and abundant day. Again, so today we went over how to enter your location, how to look and assume and assert yourself as dominant over that location. Once you understand and become one with your location and the situation, nothing else is going to bother you. Does that make sense? I hope so. Oh, yeah.